Hey everybody, it's Michael from Barbarea Hiking, guys. I can't wait to get into this next What's Blooming Now series. There's so much stuff out. We're up here in Sonol, and due to the high mineral content from different types of minerals that you're getting into the soil, you get a whole different variety of flowers than you would, say, the north side of Mount Diablo. So stay tuned if you're new to the channel. We got stuff about trails to check out in the spring. All right, guys, stay tuned. Alright, so welcome. We're up here in Sonol on the Canyon View Trail. We're actually doing a hike up here soon, so if you want to check it out, it's going to be a moderate hike. A lot of wildflowers blooming here. We actually see more right now than we did last year. We've got a lot of rain this year. So there's a lot of awesome stuff. We've got some California poppies blooming up here. And they are the state flower, and you're not supposed to pick them. I always say, you know, it's not good to pick anything because it allows everybody else to see them. It's just nice to have all those wildflowers out there, and everybody else can get a nice little view of the wildflowers too. If we all go around picking all the flowers, there's nothing going to be left. So it's a good rule of thumb, even though it's a state flower. Even they say don't pick the California poppies because it's a state flower. I kind of leave that rule for all the flowers.
Okay, so we're in Back Creek in Mount Diablo. And this is winter cress. It's a little yellow flower. It looks a lot like mustard. It's in the mustard family. It's a mustard relative. So it's called winter cress. And this is blue witch. It's in the Solanum family. It's in the nightshade family. It's like a little shrub, and it's got the light blue flower on it. It blooms for a pretty long time. And it's usually found in kind of a sunny area, and this is called blue witch. And this is a little white flower that you see. There's a few different kinds of it, but it's called meadow star. It's just a small little white flower that stands up about 6 inches high. And usually you see it in kind of shady areas and kind of woodland areas. It's real dainty and pretty. And here we have the little blue flower. It's called dwarf lupin. And there's a few different types of lupins around. They're usually blue. This one has a little bit of white in it. It's blue and white. It's called dwarf lupin. And these are the taller types of lupins that we have around. They're usually about a foot tall or so. Compared to the dwarf lupins, are just a few inches tall. And they're usually a little bit darker blue, typically bluish purple. Okay, we're still up here in Back Creek Canyon on Mount Diablo. And we ran across some yellow bush. It's called narrow-leaf yellow bush. It's a shrub, and it has this yellow flower that blooms for quite a while in the spring. You see it all over. You usually see it in dry, more chaparral type places. And it's about 2 feet tall, 2.5 feet tall. But it's just starting to bloom. And this is a flowering vine. It's called clematis. And it's deciduous. It's just starting to get its leaves, and it's just starting to flower. This is one of the few ones that we've seen that are actually blooming. A lot of them are just budded out here. But it's got a real pretty puffy white flower on it. You see it climbing up the trees and usually in kind of shadier areas. And then this is a little dainty, little interesting little flower. It's a dwarf version of Chinese houses. It's called few-flowered Collinsia is the botanical name. And it's kind of hard to see. It's a little small, little purple flower. It's real pretty, but it's related to Chinese houses. It's just a dwarf version of it. And this is a little orange, kind of golden colored flower that you see out in the sun. It's called fiddleneck. And this is kind of a short version of it. There's a few different types of it that you see around. Some of them are real tiny and short, and some of them are taller. And usually you see it out in the grassy, sunnier, open areas. We're here in Sonol, and we're seeing the California bee plant, it's called, and it's in the, it's related to penstemons. It's in the Scrophulariaceae family. And bees like to go to it, so it's a real tiny little flower. It's a tall plant, but it's got this little tiny little flower. Real interesting. It's called California bee plant. And here we have a little succulent that you often see growing up in the rocks. It sort of has a little yellow flower on it. It's called Dudleyae. So it's real interesting. It's one of the few succulents that we have that grows around here. And here we have a little blue flower. It's called flax. It's little tiny little thin leaf on it. Very small little flower. It was growing right below the succulent that we had there. So real dainty. It's kind of even hard to see. It's real small. And here we have one of the clovers. This is called burr clover. You often see burr clover, you see tomcat clover, and this is burr clover. This is one of the first clovers that we've seen out here. Something you don't think of, but poison oak does have a flower on it. You often just look at the leaves, but it does have this little kind of yellowish white little flower on it. And that is something you don't want to touch either, just like the leaves. And we just saw some royal larkspur here with a purple flower. This is a delphinium. It's in the delphinium family. It's like your delphinium that you buy in the nursery. So it's really pretty. There's also a scarlet one, but this is the royal larkspur. And right behind it is some dahlium that's blooming with a little tiny little white flower. This one right here. And if you feel this leaf, it's real sticky. And this is the common name of this is called bedstraw. And the pioneers used to use this to stuff their mattresses. That's why it's called bedstraw. But if you feel the leaves are real super sticky, but it's got this little dainty little white flower on it. And this one out here is owl's clover. And that's not really in the clover family. That's actually related to Indian paintbrush. If you look at it really closely, it has the same type of a little flower on it. It's called owl's clover, and we're seeing a lot of that out here in Sunol in the sunnier areas. And this is something that we're seeing a lot of is this little lotus. It's a little tiny little yellow flower that we're seeing all over in the sunnier area out here. And it's called calves lotus. And this is something that everybody's familiar with is the California poppy. And they usually grow in a sunnier area, and interesting thing about them is they are not open. If it's not sunny out, they close up. If it's a cloudy day, they will be closed. They won't be open. But it's nice and sunny out here today, so they are open and they're all over the place. This is our state flower. And this is another little flower that we're seeing out here in the Canyon View Trail in the sun. It's called bird's eye gilia. It's all over the place up here. It's only a few inches tall, but it's real pretty. It's kind of a blue and white little flower. It's up here with the owl's clover. And this is something else we just spotted. The little small, very low to the ground. It's almost forms like a mat. It's called red maids. Really bright pink little flower. There's just a few of them up here, but we're up here on the Canyon View and the Serpentine. Okay, so this is a pansy relative. It's called Johnny Jump Ups. It's in the it's a viola, just like a pansy is, or a viola that you buy at the nursery. It's got a little yellow and a little bit of brown on it. It's real pretty. Little just spotted all over the place here. A little low to the ground. It's called Johnny Jump Ups. And this is something you don't see a lot of. You see it occasionally. It's called butter and eggs. Kind of a little yellow and brown flower to it. We spotted some when we were driving out near the road. So we stopped and took some pictures of it. And we just saw some sticky monkey flower. And it's just starting to bloom. I think this is the first we've seen of this. And it's a shrub. It lasts all year. Flowers for a pretty long period of time through the spring and into the summer. You see it everywhere. It's usually in a sunny area, in chaparral areas. We're out here. I see some California sage out here with it, so it's kind of a dry area. But this is sticky monkey flower.
All right, well, thank you so much for checking out the channel. Hope you really enjoyed. All the subscribers that we're getting is just fantastic. I get my duck hat on here. It's just fantastic. All the subscribers we're getting, it's just wonderful. I am so appreciative to all you guys, all the messages that I've been receiving from next door to a lot of things. It's just been fantastic. I want to really put a big emphasis on helping people out with a lot of their fears and kind of going through those anxieties that they have maybe. So I'm going to start making a lot of videos of that because it seems to be a pretty popular topic on next door. So stay tuned. Also, we've got the top 10 hikes to do in the spring. I'll leave that video down here. Definitely want to check that out. All right, guys. Well, we got so much more stuff to coming up. Stay tuned.